Just a day after Labor politicians joined the Teals in demanding higher standards of behaviour and debate in Parliament, a Labor minister has gone on a wild rant linking the coalition to extremist violence and antisemitism. And all because some coalition senators support a commission of inquiry into the response by all governments, state and federal, Liberal and Labor, to the COVID pandemic. I mean, just have a listen to this.
It is a sign that they don't take the relationship between public policy and their role seriously, and that they engage the most loopy, far-right extremist and kooky views in order to suck up to an emerging and stronger group within their political party.
It gets worse. This bloke is Tim Ayres. You won't have seen much from him, but he is the Assistant Trade Minister, a former union official and a senator from New South Wales. And the reason for his outburst? Well, he doesn't want a proper inquiry into the COVID-19 response. He reckons the government's limited review by 3 hand-picked people is good enough.
It's reviewing what worked well and what we can do better to improve Australia's preparedness for future pandemics.
Yeah, sure. Labor is worked up because a private member's bill has been put up by some coalition and crossbench senators to establish a full commission of inquiry into COVID, examining all aspects, advice and responses, including things like the effectiveness and appropriateness, including from a human rights perspective, of lockdowns, school closures, social distancing, work from home, mask mandates, interstate and international border closures, quarantine and vaccines and vaccine mandates. I think we all deserve that information, but in reaction to this push, the Labor government says this.
There is a wellspring, a sort of fetid wellspring of COVID conspiracy theorists, and some of them inhabit the benches over there. The One Nation Party have always sought to manipulate these kind of conspiracy theories for their own purposes.
Pretty extraordinary and disgusting stuff. Millions of Australians want a royal commission into the COVID response because millions of us were locked up, locked down, blocked from seeing loved ones, not able to go overseas, not able to come home, blocked from operating businesses, forced to have a jab and sacked for not having a jab. Now, this Labor minister attacks people who want a full and open examination of all this, and he uses it to attack his political opponents in the most absurd and degrading way.
And the truth is, in the history of these kind of conspiracy theories in Australia, you know, mobilised on the fringes, the history is that always there's an element of anti-Semitism that's not too far away. Always been the truth. Always been the truth.
Really? In this time of unprecedented anti-Semitism in Australia, when the federal Labor government has done nothing to prosecute the hate preachers and those chanting about hunting for Jews, when it's done nothing to stamp out this hate, in fact it's only helped to ramp up the rhetoric against Israel, then this government makes baseless claims of anti-Semitism against the coalition. And it does this because some in the coalition want a royal commission into COVID. This is nutty and dangerous behaviour from Labor. Ayres spoke about lizard people and chemtrails and pathways to violence. Listen to him drag in that horrific police ambush in Queensland 18 months ago.
These are the kind of ideas that mobilised the recent terrorist incident in Wyambilla. They were attracted to COVID conspiracy theories. It was a core part of what they believed.
Talk about a stretch, anything but actually addressing the issue, the examination of COVID pandemic responses. A number of senators, Sarah Henderson, Matt Canavan and Gerard Rennick, objected to this abusive diatribe, and they called for the Senate President to bring it to an end, but on and on it went, ugly, baseless, partisan bile against the coalition.
The extremists are developing relationships and support amongst a party that tries to position itself as the alternative party of government. We know that Senator Antic and Senator Rennick and Senator Canavan are all on board for the conspiracy theory stuff.
This is perhaps one of the most unhinged and ugly parliamentary rants I've ever seen. We need to know why this bloke is an Assistant Minister for Trade if he trades in such hatred and vitriol. We need to know whether the Prime Minister endorses this behaviour. Because over the past couple of weeks, Anthony Albanese has been amplifying the ASIO boss's call for politicians to take the heat out of debate.
It is consistent with his view about the need to lower the temperature in this country. And if those opposite think that the circumstances are that we don't need to lower the temperature, then they can continue down this cul-de-sac.
Yeah, taking the high moral ground, hey, while Labor lashes out with wild claims about anti-Semitism and extremist violence. We need to know what it is about the COVID response that Ayres and the government are so desperate to hide from scrutiny. All this just confirms, by the way, that this country desperately needs a proper royal commission into the COVID response.